Don't speak for me.
Okay. Am I wrong? This is like a quintessential coming of age.
Yeah, we got power now.
Welcome, Earthlings, to the latest episode of the Recalic Film Buffs podcast. I'm your host, Dan Sandlot, along with my Sandy co-host, Mr.
Sandy. Sammie Castle. With a mouthful of peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
We're here to talk about the 1993 baseball classic, The Sandlot, which has just reached its 25th anniversary. So I think it's one of the reasons we're talking about it.
That's the reason we're doing it.
It was in the news here lately, so.
This week.
Yeah. We're recording this middle of April, so yeah, I think it just had its 25th anniversary, so we'll get into that in just a minute. What's new, Sammy?
Huh.
Been doing some acting here lately, huh?
Yeah. Actually, I got some stuff lined up, too. I just did a micro short, with some guys from the Triad Film Collaborative, that we're members of their group, and I've been to a couple meetings now, and a couple friends. Stephen Hancock wrote and directed it. J.D. Mayo was DP.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Thomas is her married name, I think. She was Taylor Parrish in Our War, that I've also done Haunting of 4 Points with, even though we've never been on set together. She's in it. Shane Grissom, who I met at the Triad Film Collaborative, did a short about me being a red shirt yet again. How many different ways can different people figure out how to kill me? But it was called A Grim Dinner, and we had fun. I mean, it was just a one-day shoot.
Yeah.
Nothing real elaborate or anything. But a friend of the podcast, Jeff Cochran, was there, set up the location.
Where can folks find it? Is it on YouTube?
They can't yet. No, supposedly he's going to submit it to some film festivals.
Okay.
So I've seen it. You've seen it.
Be on the lookout for some amazing Sammy facial, nonverbal,
and
no dialogue.
Yeah, it's the second movie I've done with no dialogue.
That's true.
Maybe I should take that as a cue. That I sound, I look better than I sound, or something.
Better seen than heard.
Yes. The funny part was I showed my daughter Ashley tonight, who is just laughing through the whole thing. She says, "I have seen you make those faces before." Yeah. So it's just me, tapping into that part of it. But yeah, it was fun.
What's up with some of these other gigs? Can you talk about them yet, or are they still early on in the?
They're still fairly early on. I was the gentleman, one of the guys who was on set. I think he was just a PA. Is a member of the collaborative that I've met, and I don't know. Did I tell you the story about the acting thing?
I don't think so.
We the last meeting I went to, they decided they were going to have an actors workshop.
Oh yeah.
And the idea was they gave a monologue out, and you showed up and or you did the monologue just regular, and then you drew a genre and did the monologue in that genre, the same monologue. I had no intentions of doing it.
Yeah.
And I got there just a couple minutes late, and they were in the hallway filming and doing the monologues. The guys were doing the monologues, and everybody got done, and Ken Comito looked at me and said, "Well, Sammie, you going to do it?" And I went, "I had no intentions to." And Steven said, "Oh, Sammie, go ahead and do it." And I was like, everybody else has had to monologue and practice, because they give it out earlier in the week.
They all want to know what kind of actor you are.
Yeah, probably.
Everyone's sitting there casting their next movie.
So they hand me the paper, and I just kind of rattled it off, and they called cut, and Steven looked around and said, "Well, pretty sure that was the best attempt at that we've had all night." Just walking in cold.
Yeah.
And then I drew horror as my genre, which kind of made it easy.
Mm-hmm.
But this Jonathan was there, and then he was on set for a Grim Dinner, and he contacted me the following week, and he said, "I've got this short." He said, "I'd love to cast you in it." So he sent me the script. I don't know what it could be, a micro short, but I think it's going to be a short. There's not a lot of dialogue, but there's a lot of atmosphere. So I think that stuff he can take a good little bit of time setting up. But I read the script and picked out the character. He didn't tell me which character. I picked it out immediately.
The one that dies.
Well, no, there's like 3 guys in it and 2 females, but and it's not me per se, but I could see me playing that. So when I messaged him back, I was like, "So let me guess, I'm da 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 da," and I don't remember what it is now. And he went, "Oh yeah, definitely." And I said, "Okay." So, what else are we into? I've turned down a couple of roles that I could have done that I've been asked about, but because of this new business venture, it's kind of taking up a lot of my time. But still online to do Mike Allred's next one, where I'm going to play a mobster, the head mobster.
Nice.
I think that comes from the picture in Dark Heat.
Okay.
That I think everybody's like, "Hey, Sammie looks kind of good like that." Like a southern mobster, I guess, not a real mobster.
Yeah. Mobster.
So I'm lined up for that, and it seems like I got one more thing, but it's escaping me right now.
Well, very cool.
Cons. May is con. We're back into con season.
Yeah.
I will be at. When will this come out? Sometime 1st of May?
Early May, yeah. Con Carolinas.
I will be at Days of the Dead.
Okay.
With a table with a horror show, May 16th through the 18th, I think, or something like that. The following weekend, we'll both be at Crimson Screen in Charleston.
Yeah.
For midnight shift screening.
Yeah.
And then I will be a guest at Con Carolinas the following weekend, June 1st through the 3rd.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So it's getting, and then 2 weeks after that will be Heroes.
Oh wow. Summer's getting here. They're lining up. Yeah, we've got several projects that we're producing right now. Producing a feature film for Zach Fox. And we talked about it briefly on this podcast before, but I think you and me have both been doing a lot of work on that here lately. I told Zach when we started, said we're mainly going to be hands-on in pre-production. Once you get rolling, it's on you, buddy. You got to make this film yourself. So I think we're he's getting set up in the right direction. So
yeah, but especially me, being the comic book guy, and because of the subject matter of the movie, I'm going to be pretty hands-on.
You'll be a technical advisor for the.
Yeah, I'll be standing there, set that there, set this here, that especially for the convention.
Yeah.
That we're going to try to do.
Yeah, and Zach's a con guy himself too. He's a big San Diego.
And when you need background.
Oh yeah.
Sammie's a guy to call.
Absolutely.
I need my own. I'm gonna start my own posse. I already have my own makeup posse. So.
We do have a need for a bunch of extras. For another project we're not talking about yet, but there's a lot of need.
Yeah,
for
that one
extras
we're going to that one too.
and that one too. So,
And I have old actors. I have child actors. If you need extras, call Sammie.
you should just start your own talent agency.
Actually, I just put the word out, and everybody's like, "Okay, I'll come."
Yeah.
Or they won't.
Come or don't come. That's up to you. Well, cool. We'll be look forward to seeing you on screen for whatever comes next. So
You know me, I like this, and as we've discussed, I need to, even though I'm never going to be a great actor, I need to refine and get better for what we're doing.
yeah, sure.
So if I get in front of a camera and do different kind of stuff, whether and Steven actually said I could say something if I wanted to, but I didn't think it fit the character. I was quiet. He wanted me to say something towards the end, and I was like, I've been quiet the entire time. Why would I say something now?
Yeah.
I didn't think it fit the character,
Yeah.
which is a very actor thing to say. That's weird.
But that's how you should think about these things. You know?
Yeah. So he was pretty good too. He was kind of letting me do what I want to, kind of like you do.
Yeah. I just gave up.
Is that what it was? I thought the word is you wind me up and see where I
go. Take direction anyways. Just do your own thing.
I took direction. I just couldn't remember my lines in the alleyway.
That's funny.
You gotta admit, sometimes what comes out of my mouth is better than what you wrote down on the page.
Now that's one of the keys to directing films that I found out very early on is be open to actors' improvisation because it's probably going to be better than what you had anyway. So
There's some people don't do that though.
yeah, I think you should always be open to it and allow everyone to surprise you because
I tried to be. I guess Jason maybe was one of the good examples of I never went off script. I just did what he told me to do.
yeah.
Because I figured Jason's vocal enough to where if he said, hey, just kind of do something. Which stand out in front of the tent. He said, just act real crazy and, just do different stuff. Yeah. But I think that was kind of what he wanted.
Well, I mean, I think it always depends on the project. If there was something I was working on that I had a very, very clearly defined idea of what I needed, then yeah, I'd tell you exactly what I was looking for. But I honestly, I think it's better a lot of times to allow the actors to come up with things themselves and use that. And it's a collaborative process. Unless you're the freaking Coen brothers and you're writing something that's damn near perfect to begin with, and you don't want to stray from that at all because it's like an intricate puzzle.
Yeah.
Then I think
but still, even
allow
then,
yourself to be open.
But still, even then, I think you need to be a little open to phraseology.
Yeah.
It's sometimes what you write in your head don't sound right coming out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I just maybe a twist here and a twist there, and then it sounds like, or out of the character's
And that's
mouth.
one thing I think you understand. A lot of actors don't understand is you can change it to make it sound more realistic or more. Please do because it's it'll save everybody some headache. So let's get into our movie. We're talking about The Sandlot. And full disclosure, guys. First time I saw this film was preparing for this podcast today.
It just amazes me.
I know, right?
Because this seems like totally in your
films,
wheelhouse, your time wheelhouse.
I was a kid when this came out, and I don't know why I didn't see it. I just didn't. I don't know. Maybe I started watching horror films at a very young age, and maybe it kind of warped my little mind. So by the time this film rolled around, I was more into things like the X-Files and
that early age,
creepy stuff like that than it was at And I do remember thinking in my head, I'd rather just watch the Goonies.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, no, but you're not a big sports guy.
I know, I'm not a big sports guy either. Now, I do like some sports films. Some sports films are really great. We just talked about Rocky a little bit ago. there's some really great ones, some classic ones, but overall, I'm not a huge sports fan. I don't get idolizing sports or athletes. I don't care, and so I think there's a good bit of this film fetishizes Babe Ruth to the point where I just don't get it, and it doesn't.
Well, I think that's okay. I, as a kid, was a big sports person. But I'm not the type of person to sit down and watch sports.
Yeah.
I want to play. And I was a baseball guy. For whatever reason, that's just what kind of got me. That was a sport of choice. They tried to, when I got into high school, they tried to recruit me to play football. It's a very small town. I was the kind of guy that could run my head into a locker and not faze me, so they thought I could hit something. But it was it just football didn't get to me. I'm terrible at basketball.
Yeah.
Even though I played a little in college, not co-ed stuff, intramural stuff. I'm just not very that kind of coordinated. Baseball was my thing, and I was good at it. I made All-State my sophomore year.
Really?
Yeah. And was actually Virginia Commonwealth, Virginia Union, when we started looking at colleges and doing college stuff. In my junior year, I'd got out of baseball because I got into rock and roll and extracurricular activities.
Rock and roll.
But they actually tried to recruit me to play baseball at Virginia Union.
That's cool.
I was good enough to play third base. So you'll see I have a big love for baseball movies.
Well, I have this for me was a bit nostalgic. Watching these kids play, because I did play a lot of Little League growing up and a lot of basketball growing up too. When I got to high school age, I was getting into music myself, and that translated into marching band, mainly because there were a lot of girls in marching band. But
this one time at band camp,
I've got a lot of stories, and I'm just going to keep them to myself.
I know. Again, I got into rock and roll in the 80s, and all my buddies were, especially the drummers, were all in marching band.
But when I was their age, though, this is what I was doing. I was playing baseball all the time, and it was great.
So it's for me, this movie was so close to home. I can remember playing not in a Sandlot because we weren't. We had a local elementary school that we played on the ball field, but we'd go play pickup games all the time because we enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
I played slow pitch up until 96, 97. No, I guess it was even later than that. This was almost 99, and then I started coaching the kids and fast pitch. So it's the same sort of translation, basically the same game. So I've been involved with baseball, softball for 30 plus years. So, and then this was also a kind of a coming of age movie too. Which always strikes a little. I love coming of age movies. Yeah. And or groups of kids movies, Goonies, Stand by Me.
Well, this film is heavily influenced by Stand by Me.
Yes.
And I think even films we've talked about in the past that you seem to strike a chord with you, like Rounders or It. I think they all have a lot of similarities here. I told my wife my wife has seen this movie and likes this movie. Believe it or not, this is the first
Really?
for our relationship that she knew a movie that I didn't know, and we were watching. I was like, and she's like, "You don't seem like you like it." I was like, "It's not that. It's like it's like it, but without conflict." She was like, "But there's a dog." I was like, "Yeah, I get it, but it's just."
Okay, this movie is meant. Okay, first of all,
It's a nostalgia.
It's
thing.
from a simpler time.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a nostalgia thing.
So, up until the 90s, baseball was king. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't until then when the NFL really took off.
All-American sport. Yeah.
So, I mean, every kid grew up wanting to be a ball player. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have played pro ball. And I actually played Little League with a guy who played pro ball and won a World Series with the Braves.
Wow.
Yeah. As I was the only guy in the county that could hit him.
That's cool.
I mean, he got me as good as I got him, but I was the only guy. He would pitch no hitters against everybody but us.
Wow.
And that's because I always seemed to get him. But to me, this movie is based around baseball, but it's about the kids and the personalities. Mm-hmm. And you look at this group of kids and how they take Smalls in, and how you've got
reluctantly.
Yeah, but you've got they needed a ball, mm-hmm. and they needed a ninth player. But you've got a Latino kid leading the group. Your star pitcher is a black kid. Mm-hmm. You got the chubby kid. Mm-hmm. So you've got the nerdy kids. You've got all this group of different kids that. Okay.
They all have baseball in common.
Yes, and sports is one of those things where it crosses genre, it crosses race, it crosses gender.
Yeah. Well, not in this film.
Well, not in this film, true. But Bad News Bears.
I know what you mean.
Bad News Bears did.
Yeah.
It crosses those barriers. I grew up, at this age, it was late 70s, early 80s. I am from a very, very small Southwest Virginia town where racism is still prevalent. Yeah. But when we walked out on the ball field, there was none of that stuff. Yeah. It didn't happen.
Speaking of small country town, this reminds me an awful lot of the ball fields we would play on as a kid. Except I would call mine more like a mud lot. But it's very similar to what you're seeing here.
Now, my elementary school field didn't even have a fence.
No,
it just if I could get a ground,
ours didn't too. Yeah,
if I could get a ground ball, over this, or if I could get a ball over the second baseman's head in the cap, I had a home run all day.
You good to go
because it rolled downhill on the bottom end too. So I mean, I could hit.
Yeah,
but
you didn't have to hit.
Yeah, it's just right placement. So to get really nerdy on baseball, there was I played third base. Mm-hmm. There were two big third basemen at that time, Mike Schmidt, George Brett. Schmidt was the power, Brett was the finesse. So I learned Charlie Lyle's theory of hitting, which is what George Brett used. Mm-hmm. Lay your bat back, put the ball in play. So even though I was the biggest kid on the field, I didn't hit for a lot of power.
Yeah.
But I could pretty much place the ball like I walked out there to the field and set it down. Mm-hmm. I was that controlled with the bat. So my last year of Little League, I hit 784 for the year.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it was. I was good at it, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's why I didn't enjoy it.
and I'm that way with basketball. I'm not any good at it. I can still hit. When Morgan, God, that's a long time ago now. Morgan was about 10 or so. She was, or maybe 11. She was really good at pitching, and she got cocky at a game one day. Mm-hmm. And the next practice, she got a little cocky again. And I said, I tell you what, when everybody leaves here, I'm going to teach you a lesson. So when practice was over, I went and got her bat, and I said,
beat the shit out of her.
yeah, beat her to death with it. I said, I tell you what, you pitch. No matter where you throw it, I'll put the bat on it. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm gonna teach you. I want you to learn a lesson here. No matter how good you are, there's always somebody better. Mm-hmm. So she threw me a fastball and I hit it. And she threw me a knuckleball and I hit it. And then she tried to change up and I hit it. Then she started getting smart. She's like, okay, I'll throw it way over his head. I let it hit the bat stop and then I hit it. I proved the point. I touched the ball every time. Mm-hmm. She threw it behind me. I turned around and hit it. It's just for these kids, I see a kid like Smalls, mm-hmm. and I feel for him. Mm-hmm. And kids like that, when I was playing, I hated because I'm competitive too. I want to win. So when you see a kid like Small, and they're the same way, so I understood where they were coming from. Benny is amazing at baseball. He's the best kid in town. Everybody knows it, but he also knows that Smalls, he's the one that championed Smalls. Mm-hmm. Even though he freaking got a black eye on the first fly ball that he tried to catch because he couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
Which leads me into a story of teaching my kids how to catch fly balls. We took them to slow pitch practice and set them in the outfield and said, catch it or get hit in the eye. Parenting fail. No, they caught it. I mean, they learned how to catch fly balls.
Yeah.
Neither one of them hardly ever play outfield because they were so much better. But the fact that this group of kids, see, he's making a point. He's translated it into what they. But he's also looking after Smalls too.
Yeah.
He knows this kid needs some help.
Yeah.
Now, there's probably some stereotypes in this group. Well, I don't know if there's stereotypes because they're all kind of unique.
Yeah, they don't seem to really get hung up by any of the stereotypes, of their characters.
But they all have their little niche.
Small's probably more than anybody as this nerdy type kid who.
Yeah, but Bergstrom's nerdy.
Much about
the first baseman who's tall and skinny and glasses, and he's kind of nerdy.
Well, I mean, they certainly make this point that Smalls is not there to play baseball. Smalls is there to have friends. That's all he cares about is trying to make friends.
And the worst outfit to play ball in ever. Freaking short. I mean, it just perpetuates the stereotype.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the kids are playing in jeans, and Yaya's the only one with a jersey on. The catcher. Can't think of what the hell his name is. Just drew a blank. The big kid but he's so bad he don't even have to have catcher's equipment on.
Yeah.
He's gonna take that foul ball, he's got a face mask and that's it. They're playing and these are not rich kids either.
No.
They're lower middle class. Mm-hmm. Or maybe middle class. Benny's probably lower middle class. And this is how good Benny is. He hits the ball into his glove.
To him, yeah. Well, one thing I noticed using the character of Smalls as the new kid in town who has to be introduced one by one to each of the kids into the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. It's a good plot device they use to use him as your lens for your audience, because you have to introduce every kid to the audience and the town and all this to the audience. So you used him as the conduit to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't like about it is that you have a narrator who basically does the same thing as well. But instead of, a lot of times when you have a narrator, they're there for a functional story reason, to push exposition and explain things. The narrator in this film is more like there for style. I think he's there to, and I think.
Well, if you're a baseball fan, you're used to an announcer.
An announcer. Well, he is an announcer too.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts off and you see the announcer, who we find out later is Smalls, right? As a grown man, who sounds just like Bob Costas to me. I wrote that down. Bob Costas, narrator.
Yeah.
Actually, the voice of the narrator is the writer-director of this film.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
He's not in the film, but he's the voice of the narrator.
Yeah. David Mickey Evans.
Yeah. Who's really, this is his one big credit. He's directed several other films, and nothing nearly.
Another baseball.
He also wrote
Beethoven.
Sandlot 2.
Which I haven't seen. I only haven't seen.
Which is there on the table.
Yeah. He's done Beethoven's third and Beethoven's fourth.
Yeah.
But all these kids, they got a good little group of kids that somebody can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time frame, I'm like Hamilton Porter. I'm that chubby kid. It wasn't until later on that I kind of shot up a little bit.
How old do you think these kids are? 10? 12?
Yeah. Benny's the oldest one, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 13, 14.
I tell you one thing I do like about one thing they do in this film. I think is smart, or at least it's fun, is the way they portray the Beast with a puppet. Mm-hmm. Especially when you don't see him in full frame, you just see little bits and pieces of him, and it's you're seeing it through the kid's eyes, so it's exaggerated, it's heightened. And
because that's the way it is in their head.
In their head, they're seeing this.
It's the Beast,
and that couldn't possibly be portrayed by an actual animal. So when you actually finally do see the dog, he's not nearly as ferocious as the puppet that they used earlier in the film.
But that's kind of the setup for it. Is they use the puppet to portray what they're seeing in their head.
He's a beast,
and
not a dog,
we're all kids. I mean, we're all kids are like that. God, where was that? Oh, when we were walking through the elementary school doing the documentary. Mm-hmm. To me, that school looked huge. So to walk into it as an adult,
small.
I was like, how small is this freaking place?
Yeah.
But in my head, it's huge.
Yeah.
You have experiences as a kid that as you get older, it's still in your head. You're like, oh my God, that thing was huge. The best, another wrestling analogy. My dad took me to a local wrestling show, which was the NWA at the time, and John Studd, who was billed as being 6'9" and da 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 da, and I'm 7. Mm-hmm. Walks by me, and that dude looked like he was 40 foot tall. Now I know that he was only like 6'5".
Yeah.
They just. But in my head, he was a lot bigger than he was.
Sure.
This also shows this little scene here, where they're telling the story of the Beast. Also plays up what's in their head versus what, and the thing about it is, there's the puppetry. And the thing about it is this is all the kids telling Smalls the story, even though they just know the story. They never actually met the Beast or seen the Beast or. The dog throws the people up over the junkyard.
I feel like this scene is inspired a lot by some of the. They're not flashbacks, but they're just the stories that Ralphie tells in A Christmas Story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's killed 123. 173. Just like his weird jump.
Yeah. The dog's almost bigger every time you see little bits and pieces of him. He's like a
That's how legends happen.
yeah.
You know, okay, old man rant here. Let me get my drink.
He's getting prepared. He's got his sun drop. Get ready for an old man rant.
I grew up. Oh,
No, you did.
no, you're right. I didn't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Grew up with Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah.
I grew up with stories of Paul Bunyan, stories of
Fable.
Johnny Appleseed,
Yeah.
of John Henry,
Aesop's.
and I think we've lost a lot of that. You don't hear you hear fables, but they're different. We've kind of taken the mystique out of that stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, but when I was a kid, you could think Paul Bunyan was real,
Yeah.
even though he had a giant blue ox.
Yeah.
Or that Johnny Appleseed was real. So our I'll say it all the time. We are slowly killing our imagination by making it realistic on screen.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's kind of weird that they're 12 and looking at the girl's butt.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was like when I was 12.
I ain't quite got that far when I was 12.
Yeah, I would.
Boobies. What was I talking about? Oh, our loss of imagination. So these kids have got this imagination going. You got to stop. You don't like this scene, or I mean, you don't get this scene where Squints has completely set up this girl, this hot lifeguard, and all the guys. Hamilton's going, I'm a stud. With his chubby little belly. But he doesn't have you'd think he has a concept because he's blowing kisses to him and stuff, but a kid that was really into girls like that would not have done that in front of him.
No, not in front of him.
He's not quite at that age. But Squints
shows his level of innocence he has with these,
And again, this in that time era, I don't know that they would have let all those kids swim together in that pool.
No, I thought, yeah, you're right. It's 1962.
Yeah. So,
I was willing to overlook that just because it's sad, but yeah,
it's very sad.
Yeah.
But this is just brilliant on Squints because you don't. When I first watched it the first time, I didn't see it coming. I thought he was literally just drowning.
That's yeah, go ahead.
And then he opens up his eyes and smiles, and I'm like, "You are my freaking hero." That was amazing.
Well, and again, I don't want to be the guy who comes in and
No, you're fine.
shit talks the film, but my biggest issue with this film is just there's not, to me, at least, there's nothing new or surprising about it, and nothing. Like I saw this coming a mile away. Like it didn't surprise me at all.
Oh, really?
Like I just assumed that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
I didn't. The only thing that really I thought that surprised me was James Earl Jones at the end of the film.
Okay.
Because it was just a good change of pace at the end of the film. But anyways.
But this movie's 25 years old. It was actually.
But it I think it takes heavily from a lot of other films of its time and its style. Like we said, Stand By Me earlier. I think there's a lot of Stand By Me in this. And, and
except they're looking for a baseball instead of a dead body.
Yeah. And this seems like something that Stephen King could easily have written.
Oh, very easily, because he's a big baseball fan too.
Yeah, it feels kingy.
And Blockade Billy has elements of this in it.
Well, and another thing, of being talking about it being of its time. if they were to make a film like this today, there would have to be girls included in this group. You know, you couldn't have all boys.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah, and you would have to have a girl.
Every ethnicity would be represented, and both. You know, they're probably even a transgender as
but
well.
It's 1962. That's representative of that time.
Yeah, and you're right. And when I'm sure when you were a boy, you play with other boys and you play ball. You know, it's just how it was. But you know, movie making is different. And
now we had a girl play ball with us.
Oh, we never did.
You know, it's a matter of fact, I have a picture of it. And we talked about it not too long ago. The Stanleys that own Stanburn.
Okay, yeah.
You met David. Yeah. Did you met
They're good
his mom and dad?
Yeah.
Okay, Nelson coached David and I playing baseball for a couple of seasons. David's younger sister Dawn played with us and was as good as any of us. Mm-hmm. So it happened, not a lot, but it happened. That smile, it just kills me. You little pervert.
Yeah. Well,
and it's a good little summer film too.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing groundbreaking or different about it, but it's cute movie.
It's a harmless film.
Yes. Yes.
It's harmless.
Well, and it's not going to win. It's not winning no acting awards.
It's not trying to. It's not trying to be that type of film.
It's just a fun little film.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Okay. We needed to see that. Squint setting up Wendy Peppercorn, who, as he walks by, she kind of smiles and winks at him.
Yeah.
And then ends up marrying him. So, you know, it worked. Even though she's obviously like 4 or 5 years older than him.
This,
You guys, he planned that.
Michael Squint's Polidorus walked a little taller that day, and we had to tip our hats to him. He was lucky she hadn't beat the crap out of him. I blamed her. What he'd done was sneaky, rotten,
And low and cool.
Not another one among us would have ever in a million.
she's like, yeah, I dig it.
Man, this is from a simpler time.
Yeah.
Kissed her long.
And see, now this is where we're show our difference in age.
They weren't warped by the emergence of the internet. Like I was. At this age.
Seriously, that's where our biggest difference is.
Warped.
You were bent by
Warped.
by AOL and
Let's see. I'm gonna follow. Go there.
readily available porn and
I was just gonna say you knew what I was up to if you tried calling my house and got a busy signal for an hour at a time.
And see, we didn't have all that stuff. You had not to be old curmudgeon guy, but you until the Atari 2600 hit, you had to go outside to get
12-year-old
entertained.
Dan's in a mood. Yeah. No one called his house for a while.
Oh Lord. Okay, now did you want to play ball or?
Oh, I did. I
your
played
parents?
ball up until I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I got into high school, I was still involved with sports. It was just marching band instead of,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was on a ball field every day. I just wasn't playing sports. I was playing an instrument. Okay, let's skip it a little bit. This film does have some pretty impressive music selections all throughout it.
Mm-hmm. Again, of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The pickle is not absolutely necessary. Let's see, we got to face off with the team with the uniforms and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is where the I guess the Babe Ruth love started with Smalls not knowing who Babe Ruth was.
Mm-hmm.
The Sultan of SWAT from Repeat. But see, that was the upper class kids that
Had the uniforms.
Yeah.
Probably had a decent. This is probably their.
Except that kid
ball
didn't
field.
know how to wear a freaking helmet.
I've got here in my notes. This is one of a string of a lot of baseball movies in the 80s and 90s, especially late 80s, early 90s. There's a big, almost like its own genre.
Well, I think we were still on the last remnants. We could see that football was really starting to pick up, and baseball fans were. This is pretty good too. The rides at the fair, they're trying chewing tobacco, which is something I did as a kid. We all got together and was like, "Hey, let's try some chewing tobacco."
I was on a Boy Scouts camping trip. First and only time trying tobacco. It's horrible.
I didn't. The best. Oh, here it is. Chewing tobacco? You chew it. You're killing me. Now, this movie is probably that's what it's most famous for. Is
You're
that
killing me, Smalls.
that line?
Yeah.
I have a shirt that has Hamilton on it. It says "You're killing me,
I've seen
Smalls."
it, yeah.
Okay. I'm in Disney World, and I'm wearing my "You're Killing Me, Smalls" shirt. I've had at least 5 people comment on it. Okay, this is the power of this movie.
Yeah.
At least 5 people have commented on it. I love that shirt. "You're Killing Me, Smalls." I love that movie. I heard a woman working one of the rides. It's like, I love that shirt. That movie is so great. We go to watch. I think we had Castle with us. We go to watch The Incredibles live show that they do outside. And we're standing there, and I look across from me, and there's a guy standing there with the exact same shirt on. "You're Killing Me, Smalls."
Really.
And the show got done, and we started walking away, and we made a beeline for each other and shook hands
That's funny.
and said, "We get it."
Yeah.
Yep. And he was like, "Yep." And that was it. That's all it took. We knew,
Yeah.
we knew where both of our heads were, and that's the kind of power this movie had. Even my wife likes this movie, and she's not.
Yeah, mine does too.
But yeah, the fact they get on this Ferris wheel or the spin around and get sick on the tobacco juice and throw up everywhere. It's something else. They stole this from another movie too. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. I feel like they have to. I can't place it, but it does seem.
But it seemed like whatever they were, it wasn't chewing tobacco. It was something else.
I feel like this is a really poorly edited scene because it teleports what's happening from a mile away, or not teleports, telegraphs what's coming from a mile away.
Teleports.
And it just takes forever to get to it. The kid who plays Hamilton, he's I haven't seen him in a lot. He's one of those actors you've seen in a lot of stuff. He's the star of.
It's got tobacco juice all over.
I think it's my favorite episode of the X-Files, which is 5 years after this, where he plays a vampire.
Oh, really?
Really great episode. It's called Bad Blood. It's in season 5 of the X-Files, and it's
fine, Mom.
It's
I just
one
threw
of
up
my
all over
best.
myself last night. Didn't you say the tobacco juice? And okay, now this scene with Dennis Leary, the at that time, that was not something that happened a lot. Nowadays it's common to see people go through divorces and then everybody gets remarried and you got stepmom, stepdad, and there's 4 or 5 different kids have 8 sets of grandparents.
Yeah.
You know, that it's not something that happened during this time a lot.
Yeah.
So Dennis Leary's character and trying to get Smalls. Oh, he knocked the cover off the ball. Da da da.
Mythbusters did this, and their conclusion was that you can't knock the leather off a ball by hitting it.
I
Which
could see that. I like a real baseball, or like a new baseball.
I feel like in my childhood, I feel like I remember seeing it happen, but maybe it didn't happen. Maybe I'm just imagining.
I've seen it happen, but it was an old ball,
An
so
old
the
ball.
stitching is, and that's probably what you saw too.
Yeah, maybe.
Matter of fact, I think I've hit the cover off a ball, but it was an old ball.
Maybe that's what Mythbusters did, try to put a new ball from, but that was their. But it was because they did it on the Sandlot.
Yeah. This is so funny.
Yeah, speaking of Dennis Leary, this is a small, not a big problem, but a small issue I have with this film.
Okay.
Is he's a competent actor, but he's a comedian though too. He's funny, but we don't let Dennis Leary be funny.
No, not in this. He's not funny at all. No.
And I'm like, why did you hire Dennis Leary?
Yeah,
for
but
this part? Like,
I
let's
mean,
let
he
him
was
do-
fairly new in the game here, wasn't he? Was he known as a comedian?
Well, he was a stand-up back in the 80s.
Yeah, that is
He
kind
was-
of. This is
And
kind
I'm
of
just,
weird casting.
and I'm just like, if you want to hire him, great. He's a good actor, but just, give him some jokes. One joke, something. Give him something like Karen Allen. She's a good actress too, but she doesn't do a whole lot.
He's been a dad.
Yeah, he's being the dad of the '60s. He's early '60s. He's very formal with his son. He shakes his hand, or steps on whatever. But yeah. I mean, I get what they're going for.
This is his first major role. He was in
Is it?
Loaded Weapon right before, or the same year.
Yeah.
This is the same year he did Demolition Man. He wasn't funny in that either.
Maybe he was going up for these parts.
I guess.
Why don't we just go over and knock on the door and ask Mr. Myrtle if he can put you out of your
Which turns out would have been the solution.
Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
It's now that they've lost the famous Babe Ruth ball, they go through this whole scene here, or a long segment of the movie where they keep trying to get the ball back in different ways, and they become more and more elaborate as it goes on.
This is good little MacGyver stuff here though, and this shows the Timmons kids and trying to be some ingenuity.
Yeah, and then they build a robot, which is like for the '60s. Yeah, I don't. It was kind of funny. It was like a freaking bomb robot.
Question number one. The shape. The pipe.
My favorite is them putting Yaya over in the catcher's equipment,
Yeah,
and this one with Porter with the. I mean, the stuff they built was smart, but it looks like stuff that kids would build.
they put so much freaking effort into just getting this ball back. They could have put the same kind of effort and time into a better solution, or just knock on the guy's freaking door.
Yeah, but they're kids. They're scared.
yeah.
Big scary dog, big scary
They
guy.
create this intricate pulley system.
Yeah, gets that out good. I got the ball.
Yeah.
And then B shows up. And he just goes. And the Beast has got all sorts of balls back there. He just likes playing balls. But he didn't realize he had a Babe Ruth ball.
Yeah. He's the only person in the film. The Beast is the only character in the film that doesn't fetishize Babe Ruth.
No. Well, I mean, the other kid. I mean, Benny and Porter are the two big ones. I mean, the rest of them know, but they don't. They're surprised they don't know. I would be if I was playing baseball. I'd be surprised if a kid playing baseball with me didn't know who Babe Ruth was. It's like not knowing who. It's like being from North Carolina and not knowing who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah.
You know, just
Richard
like
Petty.
really, or yeah, Rich Petty or Ric Flair. Woo!
It was my last chance.
What did that dog do to that
And
ball?
the he's been slobbering on it.
Piece of a record set I had, and it finally became.
The director said, and it's surprised I didn't use Lincoln Logs too.
Yeah.
And I love the helmets, the military helmets. And this is just such a fun kids movie.
Yeah.
Squint, you got it. Pick it up. He's whispering. But yeah, it's also a little bit of a morality tale.
Baseball. With my John Hancock on it, went over a fence, you can't get it back, right?
Yeah, right.
And now we've got the kid talking to his imagination
Wait.
Goes to Babe Ruth.
when it comes to Babe Ruth.
I can't.
Can't what?
I can't go into that backyard.
Why not?
Seems pretty simple.
What kind?
A giant gorilla dog thing.
There ain't one kid already. And you think Benny would be, because he's a little older, you think he'd be a little smarter? No, he believes it too. It's one kid
He's
already.
totally bought into this legend of the
Everybody
the
else.
beast.
Which leads to the greatest game of pickle ever. And this is a fun little chase scene though. They're running through the park and knocking the cake over, and I mean it's some slapstick stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little chase scene. Where you see the beast in all his glory. Look, he's daring him. Gonna drop the ball right at his feet. He just wants somebody to play with. You were so... for somebody who's not interested, you've been watching this movie a whole lot.
Yeah, this is my second time seeing it, so.
See, you got two girls. I mean, I don't know that I see your girls as being softball players. But you don't know.
They can hit the hell out of a little plastic ball. Little plastic
Yeah, but being able to hit one and being interested is two different stories.
ball. Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, they're 2 and 3.
yeah.
I'm still trying to get one not to pee on the floor. So that's where we're at.
I love the dance moves the other day, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
They're good
good.
dancers.
Got.
Little one knows how to twerk.
Yeah, I started saying got her twerking. Benny's got a baseball jersey on now, but he's the best ball player of the bunch too. The beast snaps a chain.
And this is, I guess it's just I have kind of dark sensibilities and I expect bad things to happen. I feel like if I was making this film, he would, this slow-mo run he does to jump over the fence, he'd almost make it, and then the dog would ferociously kill him.
Why? That's
And,
not
like,
a
it would
feel-good
turn-
movie.
I know it's not, and that's the type of film I would make. Unfortunately, that's just where I as a filmmaker, quote unquote filmmaker, when I see films, I think about how would I do it differently. And
That's a horror film
honestly-
director.
Yeah, I guess, but I would absolutely have that kid die.
They're watching Werewolf.
They're
They're
watching
watching
The Wolfman,
the Wolfman.
the original. Cheney Jr.
It's a good chase scene. It's
Like you could switch genres so easily here.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
just turn this into Cujo.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
just this dog, like the threat is real. He kills.
Pretty
I
close
like
to the
this.
same dog for Cujo.
I know, right?
But it's not. It's not.
I know.
Not everything can be
Oh, I know.
scary and
Yeah.
I keep trying to summarize it.
No,
I guess I'm trying to justify it before whatever.
and you're absolutely right. It is the kind of movie.
Okay. This is Stand By Me is the horror version of this.
Yeah.
Like we've discussed, they're after a ball here. Stand By Me is looking for a body. You know, it's people look at.
I do like that touch. It tears through the screen.
Yeah.
Of the Wolfman.
People like to be scared. We like to be scared.
Yeah.
This is not a scary. This is meant to be fun.
Yeah, I know.
And cute and yeah.
Well-
This is another simple story.
No, it is, and you know, this is one of those films. I think for a lot of people, it is very much tied to their own experience of growing up with this film or watching it from 25 years ago. And I mean,
I was in my 20s when it came
No,
out.
no, well, and I'm referring mainly to people my age, you
Yeah.
know, who did watch it and grew up watching it, and I just didn't. I don't know why I didn't.
That's weird. Even
I
playing baseball.
Yeah, I know. I probably would had, you know, liked it, but I just didn't. I didn't see it. So I don't have that experience of growing
Yeah,
up with it.
you're right. This time frame was Sandlot, League of Their Own,
I've got a whole list.
Bull Durham,
Field of Dreams,
Field of Dreams,
Major League,
Major League.
Angels in the Outfield.
Yep.
You know, those. So a lot of them are kind of cheesy, but
Major League's good.
Late '80s, early '90s.
The first Major
baseball
League,
films.
First Major League,
first
is
Major
good.
League.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
Willie Mays Hayes. And all of those are kind of different kinds of movies. You know, Field of Dreams is a very dramatic piece.
Another James Earl Jones.
Yep. Yes, he was all over everything in this time frame.
Yeah. Cut to
Face with the beast.
Mr. Jones here, who's an underrated actor in my opinion.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, he's a well-respected actor. You just don't ever get to see him
And the
play
golden voice.
the range of roles that he
God, when's
could
the last
play.
time he did anything? Darth Vader?
Yeah, Rogue One.
This is bad. This is very bad. We brought your dog.
So
Rogue One.
I never caught the story, or I must have missed it the first time around. Why are they so afraid of him? Why were they?
Well, anybody
Not willing to go knock on his door.
who, I think that was more they were scared of going in the yard for the dog.
Yeah,
But anybody that owned a junkyard dog that mean had and the
He made him
and
meaner.
and in the story, it tells something about how mean he is or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. He is 87.
Why didn't you just knock on the door? I'd have gotten it for you.
Yep. I'm trying to find the last thing he acted in. The Angriest Man in Brooklyn. Other than that, it's Star Wars. Star Wars Rebels. Mufasa. Mufasa and Lion King.
is he doing the new Lion King? Mm-hmm. He is. Oh, that's cool.
I think so. Oh no, this was 2015.
Yeah, he's they're making a
Live action.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Lion King Return to the Roar.
That was my stepdad's ball. I took it without asking. It was signed by Babe Ruth.
You're not in trouble. You're
George
dead.
Herman? Yeah.
I take it back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand.
It's good to see him laugh and have
Yeah.
fun with the role. Him telling the story of getting beaned and
Looks pretty cool in Shades too.
yeah. Plays Blind Man pretty well.
Yeah.
Doesn't knock anything over or nothing.
Almost as if
Doesn't
he can
walk
see.
it. Doesn't walk in anything. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll trade you.
That's really nice of you, but that ball really is signed by Babe Ruth.
So is this one.
For the rest of the 1927 Yankees.
What?
Murderer's Row.
Well, I mean, that's the vaulted team in baseball.
Yeah.
You know.
But why would you trade? That one's all chewed up.
He's like, screw it, I can't see anymore. May as well
I
take it.
can't see it anyway. I don't care if it's chewed up. Oh, I guess it does affect the texture, doesn't it? And then they see the picture of him and Babe. And, shit, I can't remember who that was.
Sure did.
But he keeps calling me George.
He was almost as great a hitter as I was. I would have broken his record too, but
But I was black and had to play in the Negro leagues.
strikes
Like Josh Gibson.
disappeared. Pitchers hate that. That's the way I play.
Yeah, I do like very much that this is a film that takes place in the 60s, but they don't comment at all about anything racial. It just allows you to like the
High fast.
characters and let them interact
Yeah.
as if, you know,
Yep.
it's not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. And again, it wasn't for us. And it's not with most kids until they're corrupted by adults.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, it's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Even though Bill loved the Murderer's Row ball, he was still plenty mad about me having swiped his Babe Ruth autograph ball and ruining it. So I didn't feel too bad. When he
Bill
rounded
beat me
for
within an inch of my life.
instead of the rest of my life. Things worked out between me and him.
So let's go out, throw it around, and throw it
Just
around.
calling him Dad all the time.
Dennis Leary just always has this crazy look to him, like he's ready to fly off the handle
Oh,
at any
yeah.
moment.
Mostly through junior high school,
This dangerous element to him.
but none of them ever came close to that first
He lets everyone smile. And he goes, I'm banging your mom, right?
It's okay, I'll take it out on her later.
She is carrying on. I know she's got Harrison Ford in the bag, but that's okay.
And the beast's name ended up being Hercules.
Hercules.
That meant. But we were
And now they wrap up the film with a Stand By Me ending of explaining where
Whatever it
everyone
is,
is
yeah.
and what they're doing. Have you heard about the It Chapter 2 casting?
No.
I don't know
Or
if
maybe-
it's necessarily confirmed, but it's pretty much been out there that Jessica Chastain's in it.
Yeah.
McAvoy, James McAvoy,
Really?
is playing. I can't remember the kid's name. The one
Bill.
with the stutter, Bill,
Yep.
and Bill Hader is going to be in it.
Playing Richie.
Probably Richie.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good casting so far.
Interesting.
They're on the right track, I think.
Professional wrestler. You know him as the great
Hambino.
Denunez played AAA ball, but he never got to the major. He owns his own business now and coaches a little league team that his sons play on, called the Heaters.
I like the fact they kind of tell where everybody went,
Years old.
especially when they're kids.
Dog years.
Yeah, it's.
I was the last one to move away, but when I did, the Sandlot was still there. After Benny pickled the beast, his
The problem is a lot of those you don't ever see those Sandlots or anything like that anymore. They're fenced off. You can't do this, can't do that.
Yeah.
They say Benny's lost a step, and that long ass bill on that hat. God, I hated those hats. Looks like a dork.
Jet's got a suicide wing.
Yep, he's gone. They don't see him. He's only on the ball field. How does anybody see him? Of course he's safe. That would make a very dull movie if he won.
A terrible ending.
He got thrown out. It's Casey at the bat. So it ends on a feel-good moment. Benny still
Well,
got
the
it.
whole movie's a feel-good moment.
Yeah.
There's no real, you know.
They did pretty good job.
Dramatic or tense
They
moments
did
in
a
this.
pretty good job doing. The adult actors look like the kids,
Yeah.
so they did a pretty good job of that. They didn't just age them.
Yeah. I keep feel like I want to see a red balloon float by.
Oh, jeez.
I just feel like something bad should happen. Nothing bad happens in this movie. I just feel like something bad needs to happen.
No, nothing bad happens.
Now that we've established all these kids, let's start killing them off.
except Bergstrom gets lost in the 60s.
Yeah. Well, that is The Sandlot. A new one for me. One of your favorites, though, right?
Oh, I love this movie. It's probably in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I love this movie.
I'm glad we're doing it then.
It's nothing fancy. Yeah. It's nothing nothing that's going to break no. It's not going to win awards. It's not going to break. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Well, I could sit down and start at any point in this movie and watch it,
Yeah.
and feel good by the end of it.
Well, and for audiences, there's The Sandlot 2 with the same writer and director, and it looked like a straight-to-video film in 2005, I believe. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit more there.
Maybe I'll sit down and watch it at some point. See if it's any
You don't have
good.
the time to watch a movie for fun.
I figure. I know that's. Most time it's what damn makes me
Who are
watch
you
it.
kidding?
Sometime I can't get that in.
Yeah.
I didn't watch either one of these, but I knew this one by heart, so it didn't matter.
Well, where can our listeners find you?
I will be on a baseball field somewhere. I used to be all the time. I hadn't.
Yeah.
When's the last time I stepped on a ball field? I don't know. God, it's pretty sad. I hadn't been on one in a
It's been a
while.
while for me.
Although Lily keeps hounding me. She's like, you need to teach me how to play softball. So at some point I might have to go up there and
make some time.
And throw a little bit with her and see if I can black her eye on a high fly ball. And
Put a stake on it.
there's nothing soft about that ball. But yeah, I'd love to be on a ball field somewhere. I miss playing.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can find me. I forgot what the question was. You can find me on all the social medias at Sammie Castle, SammieCassell, since I haven't spelled it in a while.
Yeah. Very cool.
And
Everything.
Sammie the Comic Book Man
Yeah.
on Facebook page.
Yeah, please check that out.
Still doing talks.
And check out all our other projects on Facebook, especially the.
So what's your summation of this movie?
It's pretty much like what you said. It's a feel good movie. It's I'm not. It's not going to be something that I
You like to be
rewatch a lot.
mentally challenged.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mentally challenge you.
No. But
you
and
feel so
like I said, had I grown up watching
Your
this,
kids get a little bit older, you're going to be like, I need more of this stuff in my life. Stuff that just makes me happy.
yeah, maybe. Had I grown up watching this film, maybe I'd have a different, attachment to it, emotional attachment. There are films that I grew up watching that are, like this. It's just feel good. They're harmless movies that, I do enjoy still, but, yeah. None are coming to mind right now at 1:30 in the morning.
Think of one. Was it 1:30?
It's
Oh,
1:30.
God.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're going to wrap it up.
Thank you.
Check out everything we're
I
up
love
to
this movie, but I'm ready to go to bed.
at our website, recapproductions.com. So, we'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode, maybe a Western. We'll see. And hopefully a big announcement coming pretty soon. So, All right. We'll see you.
You're killing me, Smalls.